last week, but then with the snow and everything else, it got rescheduled for Monday. And then we had the cold weather on Monday, and some schools didn't actually, some, not a lot, actually a lot of the schools to the east, they didn't go.
Yeah,
and
I noticed
really
that.
From north of us and then to the west, a lot of those schools were in session. So
you're always kind of caught in the middle with some of these things.
I was like, man, why do I always have to be right there on the edge? But I was happy to see like Maroa and some of the, Mount Pulaski, those schools were in as well. So I wasn't, I always talk about, you don't want to be like in the center where everyone around you is calling off, but you are calling in and you're the opposite. So
you're the hole in the donut, right?
So that did not happen. But honestly, all the superintendents, we all chat in the morning. We're talking the day before, we're talking the morning of,
So what did your decision come down to, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, no, it's good. I got up at 4:00 in the morning and I checked the temperature and I checked the feels like temperature. I knew we were going to be at around that feels like -15, which is pretty cold. But I also knew that the temperatures would slowly be rising. It wasn't dropping. So I knew that while that's very cold, and I don't want to put like a line in the sand that if it's negative, feels like this, we can call off. But I knew it was going to be cold, but I knew it wasn't going to be to the point where we had a call off. But then the blowing snow was another concern. So that's why I got up early and took my truck and drove around. I was in communication with Stephen Page, who's the transportation coordinator, and I knew he was driving around. And then I was in communication that early with the Maroa Forsyth superintendent and the Mount Pulaski superintendent and the Hayward superintendent. So I'm communicating with everybody very early, and so all those factors. And I definitely want to keep the kids safe, but it's a tough call. And I got 2 kids that are in school, so they're of course, come on, Dad,
call it off.
And so,
you got it in your ear right there.
I'm telling you, I'm hearing it everywhere. But so we're in session, but if we would have called off on Monday, then that Christmas concert,
you'd have to reschedule everything again.
So I'm glad we had school, and I attended that concert. It's fun. It's 4th grade. The very last song, a kid dressed up as Santa Claus, running around. I'll give a shout out to the librarian,
Mrs. Soborowski.
Yes, she was running around like the Grinch during one of the songs, and it's a lot of fun.
There was a kid in a Santa sweater, and I swear I thought he was wearing the Clark Griswold hockey jersey. I was like, "That's awesome!" But then it was just a Santa sweater.
And Mrs. Craig, I gotta give a shout out to her. She does such a good job with those programs. So that was a lot of fun. And then even the band concerts. I was at the high school band concert a couple nights prior in the auditorium. They put on an amazing band concert. I know that they had the junior high had a band. That was the same night as a school board meeting, so I couldn't be at 2 places at once. But the band does such an amazing job. Mr. Wheeler, give a shout out to him. The band is great. So a lot of fun things going on. We got to get through this week. We got a couple more days, and we'll take break. But it's fun. I like to get around the schools. The high school kids will be taking finals here in a little bit. A lot going on at the junior high. So just a shout out to the administrators. They do a good job kind of holding down the fort.
Sure. Very good. So end of the semester here already, Mr. Goebel. It feels like it was just last week. We were starting the school year up, and here we are. Semester's over on the Christmas break. So,
it does fly by.
Yeah, very good. Well, let's dive into that school board meeting a little bit, sir, and have you tell us about some instructional coaches. Now, it was just discussion last night, but you mentioned to me off air we could take this up in January. What's going on here? What's this about?
I do think that at the January meeting, it will become an action item. So last night we just discussed it. So an instructional coach, this is new to Clinton, but not new to other school districts. Other schools have instructional coaches, and it's another level of support for teachers, whether it's analyzing data, it's mentoring. I got my job description right here. It's just collaboration, team teaching. It's it's just another layer to help teachers, because it's a tough job. I give a lot of credit to what teachers do, and it's the expectations on teachers. I really don't think people get what people expect out of teachers. And it's not, we're not just teaching the reading and writing and math. There's so many more layers that teachers do. And it's a very tough job. So, and really, in the last time we were on, we had talked about some of our school designations and some test scores. So what I'm doing is trying to put things in place to help support the staff. So
that's what I was going to ask. Is this kind of a response to the report card, or was this in the works before that?
We've been talking about coaches for a couple years, that just didn't get enough traction. And I'm.
What do you mean by that? If you don't mean
it,
don't
just
mind
it didn't. We would talk about it, and then it would kind of fizzle.
Okay.
So when I took on as a superintendent, we had Miss Jensen had been there for 1 year prior to that. So Kara and I had talked about coaches. I've been talking, besides the instructional coaches that are going to be K-5, another position that is going to be K-12 is what we're, again, just discussion only, is what we'd call an outplacement coordinator, a transition coach for our special education students. Because we have several students that don't attend. They are enrolled. There are students, but they don't attend a school in Clinton. They might go to an alternative school in Leroy. They might go to an alternative school in Lincoln, Illinois. We have some kids that go all the way to Havana. So we bus them to Havana. We have kids in Bloomington. So we have students in different schools because we don't have a facility, a program to meet their needs. And unfortunately, there is very limited space at these alternative places. Right. And
it's pretty expensive, right?
It's very expensive. So to coordinate that, this person would be it'd be a special education. Someone that would have a special education degree. Again, we're looking at someone from K-12, all grades. So we'd be looking for somebody ideally that has experience as a special ed teacher in multiple areas. Okay.
So if I may interject here, when I hear those alternate schools, generally in my mind, I'm thinking, and maybe I'm totally wrong, or maybe people outside of what that are listening to this think the opposite or don't think this, but in my mind, I think students that maybe struggle academically, have some behavior issues, for whatever reason, do not fit in the day-to-day flow of the school. And then I hear, you're bringing on a special ed teacher, and I think of those students with like a learning disability. Is what I'm thinking accurate?
A lot of them do have some behavioral concerns. But not all. Not all. And there's some students that just or have more special needs than we can take care of.
Yeah, then you can meet, sure.
and not behavioral. And so, but since there are students, they have an IEP, we still have to be they call them a case manager, and they have to attend the meetings. So right now, the director of special education for the school district, Mrs. Veldman, she is pulled in so many different directions. And so as an added layer of a support, if we have an outplacement coordinator and can kind of coordinate that, they would also have a case load of some students at the high school. And so that would help things out. And then when they're not doing placement coordinators, they could assist in the district with IEPs. They can assist with coaching. Again, another layer of support, because we do have, we have, I'll say a lot, but we have our special education population, and another, like, I'll call it burnout, but we do have a fair number of special education teachers that leave, and then you have to hire another one, and then you have to get that person all trained up and ready to go, and so you do that, and then they leave. So if we to add another layer of support, so if they need help, so instead of just leaving, because nothing's more frustrating than to not be supported. Right. So I as the superintendent, I am trying to put things in place to support staff, to support students, and having those things in place, I am positive will increase student achievement across the board. Because if there's a student that is maybe for a behavioral reason just not having a tough time in a classroom, the teacher cannot teach because they're managing the student that's having a rough day.
Sure. So there will be 3 of those positions
that
hired.
is the proposal.
Yeah. Does the district have the money for that?
Yeah. We could handle that.
Cool.
So
very good.
Yeah.
Nice. Did I miss anything in that conversation?
No. It's something again that it's been in the works for, I would say, at least 2 or 3 years. I'm just the one that's moving forward with it.
Sure. Got it. Very good. Well, on that note, Mr. Goebel, let's break, come back with some more. Drew Goebel, Superintendent of Clinton Schools, our guest in studio. We follow up the Tuesday night Board of Education meeting and do more of that when we come back on the WHW Morning Show.
WHOW.
Mark 30. Mark 15. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Wednesday. I'm Jim Taylor on the RFD Radio Network. A steady start with March corn opening 438 1/4 up 1 3/4. May corn up 1.5 446, and new crop December 460 1/4 up 3/4. January beans starting the 1060 1/4 down 2.5. March beans down 1 1/4 1070 1/2, and new crop November 1079 1/2 down 3/4. March.
Extra model year savings are available. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton and Farmer City. Yes, we have 2025 Silverados with extra savings as well as a few other models now. See our 2026 Silverados in regular cabs, double cabs, and crew cabs in gas or diesel. We also have a good selection of the all-new redesigned Chevrolet Traverse. Chevrolet, together, let's drive. See all our inventory at BaumChevyBuick.com. Right from the start.
When it comes to finding primary care, you can be seen at any doctor's office, but at Memorial Care, you're not just seen, you're heard. Our primary care team takes the time to listen to you, building a lasting relationship based on transparency and trust. So when you notice a change in your health, you've got a team that's ready to advocate for what you need. Memorial Care, real connections. Learn more at memorial.health/primary care.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, my guest in studio this morning is Mr. Drew Goebel, who is the superintendent of Clinton Schools. We follow up the Tuesday night Board of Education meeting. I don't think much of this came up last night, Mr. Goebel, but just in general, we've seen a lot of things go on with Clinton Schools facilities the last 3 or 4 years. What's next on that list of to-dos?
Yeah, the next big project is the junior high parking lot. The whole thing, back lot, front lot, the circle drive, all of it is in bad shape. But if we would do if we would re-asphalt the entire thing, that'd be really expensive. So we will bid out in the spring to re-asphalt the front lot and the circle drive, and that will happen this summer.
Okay. So will that be like a total resurface?
Completely resurface. It won't be. Sometimes they just kind of scrape off the top, and we're if you're at the high school, if you go around the high school, that got done a couple years ago.
That's real nice.
Yes. So and that was a complete redo. I mean, they pull it all up. And so that is what we're looking at for the junior high front lot. The following year, We will do the back lot. So within a couple years, the complete parking lot will be great. So that hopefully should last a while.
There you go.
Probably the next item that is going to be a little bit expensive is the floor of the junior high. If you've been into the cafeteria in the last couple of years, it has, I don't even know what they call it, but that flex, and then they pour down that I don't even know.
I don't know what it is. Yeah. I know what you're talking about, but I don't know what it is.
Tile, and it's that hard flex stuff. And it looks real nice. It's very durable. So that, and again, that is pretty expensive too. So we just did the cafeteria a couple years ago, but if you walk down the main hallway, I don't know how familiar people are with the junior high. You got the main hallway going all the way down to like the foods room and the shop. We would like to do that main hallway, and then even the individual hallways down the 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. So the whole building would have that same look. The classrooms are fine. They're not, for whatever reason, they're not popping up. And so that would be another pretty big facilities project. I know that the high school's parking lot is in bad shape. For the people listening, like, what about the high school parking lot? I know the high school parking lot is definitely on my radar, but that the plumbing for the high school football, the bathrooms for the football, that plumbing, the underground, goes towards the greenhouse, and that needs to get, and that's not the best. That every couple of years we have to flush that out. So the sewer system for those is not ideal. So what we need to do at some point, we're going to have to go north through the plumbing. We'd have to go north through the high school parking lot and tap in to the plumbing that's kind of on 54. So that will be an extremely expensive project, and I will hope I should be able to use my health, life, safety money for that. But I don't want to put a brand new parking lot in the high school if I'm going to be ripping that up to put plumbing through the high school. So when the plumbing is done, at that point I will resurface the high school lot. But again, I can't do everything at once, and I have to kind of piece things together. And I also have to acknowledge that I don't have, there's been a lot of attention at the high school for the last couple of years. So I have to make sure that I'm not only focusing on one building, that I'm focusing on all the buildings.
Right. Yeah. Makes sense. And that high school parking lot is going to be a huge undertaking, that'll be probably one of those things you'll have to start at the second the last car rolls off the lot for last day of school, all the way till, first day of school, I mean,
it's a big lot.
Yeah.
It'll be expensive.
Yeah.
But it's a need. It's needed for a while. Even the parking for when we have events, it gets people don't know how to park because there's no line.
Right.
So,
yeah. It's a mess.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
And I've been there thinking someone will park and block everybody in because they didn't know where the line was at. There are no lines.
Right.
So that is definitely something I'm aware of.
Can you at least reline it temporarily?
Well, we work on it, but it's a work in progress.
Sure.
I mean, honestly, it's something that I would love to do at some point would be because some people park at the junior for a football game or even a basketball game. People will park at the junior high if there's no parking at the high school, and then they'll walk. I would love to be able to put a sidewalk from the back parking lot of the junior high, kind of where the back parking lot, and put a sidewalk from there to the football field and put another entrance, like a back entrance with a ticket booth and everything. So, and I think mostly the hometown fans would know about, wouldn't be like anyone could park there, but you could be able to park there, walk to it'd be the south entrance of the football field, walk around the south side of the football field, and then you would enter the bleachers that are now on the west. So is
there a sidewalk that goes to the school between baseball fields or something now?
There is a sidewalk that goes between the junior high and the softball fields. But
yes, okay, that's what I was thinking.
That's over by the baseball fields and the concession stand and the batting cage. I would love to put another sidewalk all the way to the west, and then have that sidewalk go behind right field of the baseball diamond, and then tap in to the south side of the football field, put a gate there, and then there's right now the sidewalk. There is around, I'm talking about around the football field, around the track. The sidewalk does not extend all the way around. It stops. It doesn't do the south end. So I would have to put another sidewalk around that south end, and then that sidewalk to that with it. So I have all these thoughts in my head of what I want to do.
But that's a big dream for probably several years down the road.
I just can't do it all at once.
Funds are not unlimited, unfortunately. It doesn't grow on trees. Mr. Goebel, I got to let you go, my friend. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Thanks for making time for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. Mr. Drew Goebel, Superintendent of Clinton Schools, our guest in studio today, following up the Tuesday night Clinton Board of Education meeting. Again, the morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Network news on the way.
WHOW.